Hello, hello. Oh, welcome in. How are you? How are you, James? Good to see you. Good to have you along. Um, cheers. Friday night. Saturday night. Hope you're well. Hope you've had a good week. I've had a very busy week. It's been a busy week. If that's too loud or too quiet, let me know. I think I left it where it was from last time, so I hope it's okay. Okay. Excellent. Oh, I've broken it already. Yeah, there we go. Excellent. Right, well, I have my cup of tea. I have my glass of wine. We've just finished dinner here. And I kind of got to a point with the program I was working on, the Bluetooth thing, where I'm kind of like, yeah, it's fine. It's grand. It's close enough. So there were some mistakes in the hardware that I've fixed, and now I'm waiting on new boards to arrive from China, so I can do some more testing with it. But for now, I'm kind of like, that's sorted. That's probably fine. So we'll leave it at that. And so what I said I'd move on to instead is a game, and this game is just a very simple game. Do I have it open? No, I don't. And it's called Skyblocks now. I literally just called it the same name as the original. So this is just a blatant copy of Welcome in, George. Oh yeah. Always welcome some professional ruinage. So this is a slightly different one to last time, because this is when I was back in Ireland there a couple of weeks ago. We went on the ferry, and there's one of these little, like kids entertainment things, touchscreen thing, and it's all very nice. And it is tea, but I'm double parked, George. I got a glass of wine as well. Both are necessary, I think you'll find. So I was on the ferry, and there's one of these kids entertainment things into like a touchscreen, a couple of very simple games. But there's one, it was a very simple game, and I thought it was all very nicely presented, all very, it's basically just stacking blocks on a tower. But if you don't get the blocks lined up, the blocks are sliding across, and if you don't get the blocks lined up, part of the block falls away. So you only get to keep the bit of the block that's supported by the previous block, if that makes sense. And basically, you just have to build it as high as you can, with each layer getting faster and faster. So I said that would not be too difficult to remake. So I was actually had my laptop on the ferry and I started doing it while my son was playing it. So I said, right, okay, well we'll look at it. We'll look at this instead. So now I have to try and remember what I was doing. I don't quite remember, but I think I had some very basic stuff working. Hey, Super Dan, yes, retro if you like. Yeah, I haven't bothered updating. I do actually have 3.10 on this, to be fair. But anyway, this gives you an idea of what the game does. As in, it's just going across like that, and you have to try and stop it by pressing fire when it's right over the middle one. Is that the story? I haven't really given 3.10 much of a go. But I will, I must do. So this is basically a very, very simple, you can see, you get the idea, and it's just literally a prototype. And if you click that, and then the next layer comes in a bit higher, it's going a bit faster, and then you click, and then the next layer comes in, it's going faster again, and faster again, and faster again, and that's the idea until it crashes. Or is it going to crash? No, it's not going to crash. It might. But anyway, that's the basics of it. I want to polish it slightly with some polygons and a gradient background, but other than that, it's kind of, you get the idea. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Simple game, just one button. That's all it is. Yes, but is that not the case in all of them? Actually, I think it's, if you don't get a guru, it's with other versions, but it just locks up. I think because it's the debugger is too slow to release the code within the interrupt. So the interrupt takes longer than a 50th of a second, and therefore the machine grinds to a halt. So I think that was the situation, and maybe 3.8 gurus, but ultimately you can't do it anyway, you know. But there you go. So, Iron Man mode. Mm-hmm. Don't we all, Dan? Don't we all? But yes, yes, I think the Blitz Basic debugger is very good, to be fair. Yeah. So what? Yeah, but what I'm going to do now. So basically, I have, yeah, this is just the rough skeleton of the game. But so what we do is we've got one routine here called draw block, and that draws the block of the size that we give it into a shape or onto a bitmap, and then we grab the bitmap. Oh, I'm sure that box was a debugging thing. So if we run it again, it's just now those artifacts that you see, these little lines and little sort of pixel errors. That's a scaling thing, actually. It's just because this is in WinUAE, and it's just because that is not scaling perfectly. So that's not actually in the code, because the code draws to a shape. So what it's actually doing is this is just blitting. It's not drawing these vectors in real time. So what I want to do is, when it reaches the point in the middle where it's supposed to stop, I want to leave the shape there and continue with the next one. So that's the first thing I'm going to fix on this. So our main loop is here. Joy B. Okay. So if we press fire, if valid move, calculate a new move. Yeah, I can't remember. And then it's just, oh, that's all it's doing is literally just moving the shape. So if valid move, calculate new move. I can't even remember what that was supposed to mean. But I suppose an invalid move means game over, because if you press fire and none of the shape overlaps, then it's dead. Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. The intention is to scroll upwards, which is awkward because if someone's really really lucky and they get a really really high tower, you can get all the way up to the top of the bitmap and you run out of space. So it's not. It's just one single bitmap. It is. Yeah, I have it scrolling. I just don't have it scrolling. You're right. But it is a double height bitmap, so it's 2 screens tall. And the intention is to scroll it a little bit when it gets sort of about halfway up the screen. Yeah. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that music down a little bit for me because I can't hear it. Yes, that's the plan. That's the plan. If anyone gets high enough that they crash the machine, fair play to them. That'll be like level 256 in Pac-Man. That's your prize, a guru. Because yeah, I played the game a few times to get a feel for it, and it was a touchscreen, so the lag was awful. It was probably written in Java or something awful, and it was a bit clunky, but it was done in all very nice 3D model and stuff like that. But yeah, exactly, it was a high score game, and it was just a kind of like I played it a load of times, and I could only get to about 30, 32. Hey, welcome in, Nivrig. Welcome along. And cheers to you. We're discussing, a self-limiting game and like an infinite runner game with Nivrig, where you can't actually be infinite because it gets too fast for you and you always lose. And hoping that that's enough to stop it falling off the end of the bitmap and crashing the machine. But yeah, I could never get past about 30 points on the original game of this. Well, absolutely, absolutely. Drinking. I've had my tea. And now I'm onto the wine. And and I have my gas shirt on. So let's see the Irish Irish sports jersey. There you go, local team. The tea was just because we've just finished dinner and I still had my cup of tea and I'm like, I'm not abandoning this. You have to finish your tea. So yeah, so that's the plan. Tea is the starter and the wine is the main course. So I don't know if you saw, this is what I have so far in this Nivrig. Basically, it's just, the idea is you press fire when the 2 blocks overlap and you build your tower that way, and you only get to keep the amount of overlap on the blocks before you move on to the next layer. So I haven't implemented that yet. I haven't implemented much of it at all yet, but you get the idea. It gets faster and faster and faster, and then you die before you get to the top of the bitmap. I know it's asking for trouble. I know, but we'll see what happens. So what I want to do is, if valid move, I can't even remember what I was talking about there. So I presume that's just to do with actually calculating the overlap and stuff like that. So we have to calculate the overlap. But before we do that, we should blitz the actual more points for more overlap. It's not more points. It just, if you get more overlap, you've got more of a block to overlap on the next layer. That's all it is. So if you have, like, let's say you only get half overlap each row, after 4 goes you're down to 1/16 of the original block size. If you get me. So it's a very simple concept when you see it. I don't know. I've had a long week and I'm not very good at the English, so So basically, yeah, you end up you can end up with something like that's like 100 pixels long and like 2 pixels wide, and you're trying to land something on top of that that's moving quite quickly. So you know you get it's actually like George says, where me fail English. Like George says, it'd be a good with a few pints, I'd say, with a few lads. But incidentally, I'm copying this from the ferry from Belfast to Cairn Ryan. There was one of these kids terminals, and so it's a kids game. So I just saw it and thought that'd be a handy one to implement, relatively speaking. Gravity fit. Oh, don't start. But you know what? There is a little bit of gravity in it because on the original game, when you get some overlap that isn't complete, the bit that overlaps, the bit that overhangs the edge, actually just separates and falls off, and so you get your little gravity thing there, but it just falls off the screen. So I'll do that later. Okay, so we've clicked the button. So we want to. The problem is because we're using a buffered blit. Am I using a buffered blit? Why am I using a buffered blit? Why am I not using a cubelet? Anyway, we can change that around afterwards. But because I'm doing that, it gets erased every frame. So what I want to do is just blit it again. If so to make it permanent. But I'm afraid that it'll get erased anyway if I do that. It'll get replaced with a buffer. So we have to unbuffer the buffer. We'll have to do it for the other bitmap as well, won't we? And that should be it. And then we use bitmap. That is going to redraw. Oh, I don't know. It's a bit nasty because that's going to redraw on the live bitmap. Let's see what it looks like. It might be all right because you're just blitting once and we're not moving it. But anyways, so cracking start. Why? How is that? Nothing has changed here. It's the same fucking. Oh yeah, of course, Blitz doesn't have a buffer. That's all. That's all. Fine. That's what we're talking about. Cool. That's what we wanted. Could you not use a sprite for the moving bit and then just blit? You could. That's another option actually, and that would even make things for. Although we're talking a couple of 100 pixels wide. So at the start, maybe not. As in, yeah, you could. 16. You need 3 colors. All I need is 3 colors. 16. What are we doing? 48, 96. Oh, it'd be tight. But it probably could. But that block can be at the moment 100 pixels wide. So it's like it's 50 pixels. It's not true 3D. So the line is 50 by 25 on each side of the V. So it's an isometric format roughly, 2:1, and so it's 50 by 25. So that's 100 by 25. 100. It's 100 by the height doesn't matter obviously for sprites, but it's 100 pixels wide. So that'd be like all the sprites. What's that? 8 by 16, 96. I could probably cut it down by 4 pixels, but it would use all 8 sprite channels. So yeah, nah. 7 sprites. Oh, because I'm scrolling. Yeah. 7 sprites. So yes, so that's just not going to happen. No, hold on. 8 sprites. 8 by 16 is 96, isn't it? What? I'm tired. No, it's 128. You're right. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. 7 sprites to be 96. Yes, that's a fair point. Yeah, only the one shape was moving, but a sprite is only 16 pixels wide. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to split the shape up into 7 or 8 parts, and then 96 is 6. 128. Yes. Oh, I see how this night's gonna go. Oh my god, I'm so tired. I don't use sprites for anything else. It is mathing and Englishing are both tricky. I don't know if you know Nivrig or Zupadan, but I've got like a 12-week-old in the house as well, which is certainly not helping. So I'm in zombie mode, permanent zombie mode these days. But anyways, there you go. Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, it is. Like you could do it at sprites, but it's lots of sprites, and yeah, But there's also only one object moving, so it's just one dirty big blit. It's not the end of the world. Yeah. I didn't miss those days either. Oh God. But anyways, so let's say we overlap by that. So I know the vectors are. No, you're grand. The vectors don't make it easy to see these things, but that is kind of what we wanted. So I think actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to implement the DFCC welcome in, and I welcome all the lurkers. This is Wicklow, and the reason you don't recognize it is because they're rubbish. But Wicklow's my home county, so that is the jersey that I wear. None of this English football nonsense where you support whoever has the most money, or whoever your friends down the pub support. In Ireland, you support where you're born, and that's that. Whether they're good or whether they're shite. So this is Wicklow, Arklow Bay Hotel, and so that's the jersey. And interesting story about the GA jerseys, right? I bought this when I was in Glasgow. I ordered it from. Yes, go ball. I ordered this from the official GA from O'Neill's, like from the official GA source, and what happened was, because they were shipping it to Glasgow, they're saying okay, so they sent me an email and saying okay, so you want us to export this, and I'm like yeah, and okay, well the delivery time and that's going to be 3 weeks. I was like what, like I know Wicklow wouldn't be the most popular, but surely you have them in stock. And but yeah, anyway, 3 weeks came. 3 weeks came along, and I got this in the post. It was fine. The more astute viewers would notice that there are 2 stripes on the shoulder. A proper GA jersey has 3 stripes, and they're white, yellow, white. And what happened is, this is the special export version, and they printed one specially for me because no one in their right mind would order a GA jersey from Wicklow from abroad. But they can't export anything with 3 stripes on it because Adidas will have their arses. So when they export them abroad, they've got 2 stripes, and when you buy them in Ireland, they've got 3 stripes. All I had to do was ask my sister at home to send me one. I never thought of it, and they never said. It's ridiculous. But yeah, there you go. So I probably have the only real fake Wicklow jersey in the world. So yeah, exactly. This is like a dodgy knockoff from the legitimate source. It's fucking bonkers. So yeah, I think it's like it's unique. And that's why the 3 week lead time. It wasn't off the shelf. They actually probably sat down and drew it out. Like, well, that's true. I'd be home for the weekend to sign up. Just yeah. I've seen this on telly once. I can do this. But yeah, so it's an interesting story because you go home and you do actually see people with it, and they have the 3 stripes on it. I should get my name on it, shouldn't I? Or should, yeah, yeah, well, yeah, if I get the proper one, yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. They did get to play in Croke Park once, and it was basically an exhibition match before the actual final that was going on that day. And I never went. I should have gone, but that was I think, as far as I know, the only time they've played in Croke Park. For anyone not aware, Croke Park is like the big stadium in Ireland, like 83,000 people stadium, that where they play the final of the Irish sports. And yeah, Wicklow would never be anywhere near it. Biggest stadium in Ireland, actually, for an amateur sport, which is quite impressive. Anyways, right. So we've got our shape. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change it so that it blits the polygons instead. So blitting polygons is kind of, or if it draws the polygons. So we'll draw the polygons. It just gives a better idea of the colors and stuff. Excuse me. So it's because it's solid, it's colored in. So what I'm going to do is we're just doing the palette manually for now. That's white and black, or no, it's white and yellow. So we make it. What color are we making? Let's make it red. So we need 3 different shades of red. You know what? That's not a bad idea, actually, because it has to be an arcade game, doesn't it? Tell you, you'd make a lot of money charging £1 to go with this game if you got people addicted to it. We'll see. No, that wasn't the intention at all. That wasn't the intention at all. And I think it'd be an extremely simple game. This was kind of like just scratching an itch by the way, in between the other projects. But we'll see. It'll end up like getting the feature creep, as they always do. So red. La 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 la. We do dark red. 8. 4, 5, and 6 are going up in brightness. 8, 12, and 15. Let's say 3 and 3. Okay, so we've got 3 different shades of red. We can tweak them afterwards. And so what we do is we'll draw the polygons. We'll draw the brightest one on the top, I suppose. And so I should calculate out each point separately, because I've done it in line, I suppose, like this. But I should calculate out the points. What was I thinking doing it like this? Stupid. So so this is the first bit. So that's this is drawing from the middle, from the point nearest you up to the right. So, and then this is drawing the top ones. Actually, I think that's a scaling issue. I think I just don't have my WinUAE set up right, because see the grey box? That should be the full size of the screen. So it is kind of 1/3 of the screen, or not quite 1/3 of the screen, but almost. So it's just not scaling properly. So it should be 2 pixels to 1. Because the Workbench screen and the Blitz screen is 640 pixels, and that's 320. I don't know. I installed WinUAE 6 a while ago, and it's kind of not quite set up the same way. And yeah, I haven't fixed things like that yet. I probably should. Professional here, you know. Okay, so these are the top lines. These are. So this is our midpoint to the right, 100, 199. So this is our front line. Front edge, and then we go from there to the right. What? What's this line? Oh, that's the right edge. Left edge. Okay. So to the right. So upper right X. U or X. What? U or X is equal to oh, we don't actually need an upper and lower right X. Right X is that. And that sounds like a win to me. Yep, take it, absolutely. So right X is that. So that should be 4X. 4X. So right upper right Y. Upper right Y is equal to 190 minus hx size, and lower right Y is equal to 199 minus hx size. So we only draw this once when we redraw the block. So we're not redrawing this every frame or anything. So the calculations, I've a bit of luxury of time there, so it doesn't have to. I can do what I want basically when we're calculating the new block. So then that should be right X and upper right Y. And lower right Y. I'm just going to run that and make sure it still works. Yeah, that looks fine. And 199 minus hx size. So that is lower right Y. 100 plus x size is right X. Oh yeah, so sorry, when you use a line command, if you don't give it two sets of coordinates, it continues from the end of the last line, which is here, upper right Y. So there we go into lower right Y, and then 100 minus Y size. So left X is equal to 100 minus Y size. Upper left Y is equal to 190 minus HY size, and lower left Y, I got that right, yeah, 199 minus HY size. Got to go. Oh no, good game. Fair enough. Yeah, I haven't done much assembly myself, to be fair. I've done a bit. Yeah, I don't enjoy it as much. So that's why I don't do it. But yes, fair play. I do it when I have to, when there's something really needs the speed or whatever. So 100 minus Y size is lower X, or left X. Jeez, I'm already getting it wrong. So left X. So that's 199. So that's lower left Y. And upper left Y. and that's left X and lower left Y. And the top line's 190 minus HX. Size is upper right Y. Oh yeah, of course it is. Upper right Y. And there's upper left Y. So this should look exactly the same, and it does. Woohoo! I have to say I'm surprised. Okay, so now we've got all our coordinates. Doing polygons in Blitz is it's not ridiculous. It's you basically have to create a linked list of the coordinates, and then you feed the pointer to that list into the polygon function, and then it gives you it draws a polygon. Windigo, welcome in. Hello, welcome along. I'm making a little game, very silly, simple little game. Silly, simple. Basically, you're stacking blocks on top of each other, but they're not doing it yet. But each time they should get smaller and faster. So here we are. We're calculating the coordinates. So at the moment it's just wireframe, but I'm gonna polygonize it. So we're gonna do. What I'm going to do is, so we can set it at the start of the function whether we want to wireframe or not. Actually, you know what? I don't see why we'd ever want to switch that in the program, so we can just, I'll just do it here. Polygons, false. If polygon. We might even want both. Yeah. We'll draw the polygons anyway and see what happens. We'll just move this in a bit. So if polygon now, so I have to. It's polyfill, polyfiller, yay. Polyfill. So. See, so it's you need the number of points. So we're just drawing 3 diamonds, basically three quadrilaterals. So that will be number of points is 4. Well, we need an array of the points. Let's see. I can't remember what format they have to be in. I have to just define a data type for them. Dim list. Polypoints. I think that should be it. Do I get the pointer to the first point? To the first element? Or does it even need to be a? Does it even need to be from an array or new type of words? It doesn't actually need to be an array or new type. It's just basically just an array. So it's just the values stacked in memory one after another. So XY, 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 XY. So I could just do it as a new type. So it doesn't have to be that. We'll do 3. So polypoints. So and they'll go 0, 1, 2, 3 in the order, in clockwise order it should be. And we'll just give that use that as a global, because if you're drawing it lots of times, you end up with loads of fragmentation and stuff if you keep on redefining that. Well, potentially. Not that it really matters, I suppose, but yeah, look, we'll just use it. This is all it's going to be used for. So, if polygon, so yeah, and then we just give it a pointer to the first element, and that should be it. Polypoints 0. That's an array, so we have to give that the brackets. Polypoint 0 and the x element. So what do we draw first? We draw the right hand side. So that'll be so the first line will be 100. So the first point, let's say top left of the right hand side, will be 100, or here's 100, 190, oh, am I remember right? Can I actually define them like that? I think I can. Polypoint 1. If you just give it the first element, I think it automatically loads that into the second element. Does that work? Let's try and compile that. Just see if that falls on its arse. Oh, no. Oh, there's a way of doing it. There is a way of doing that, I'm sure. Variables. Constants. Polypoints, plural. Ha. It does work, I think. Yeah, I'm sure that's, yeah, from the back of my mind. Polypoint 1 is, so we have to go clockwise. So 100 by 190 is top left. So then we're going, or sorry, top center, top left of the polygon. So top right of the polygon will be upper right x. Your x, u or y. Whoa. Two and 3. Upper right x, so it'll be lower right x, lower right y, and this will be 199. So then it should be just oh, let's get rid of that. Polyf, polyfill 4, comma, and the address of that is polypoint 0, and then the color should be one of our reds. Let's just have 4. I'm actually just going to draw it and then draw over the, put the vector on top of it for now, and just to see if it works. Oh, upper right x. Oh, we don't have an upper right x. Of course we don't. It's right x. They're the same. Hasn't worked. Why? Why was I programmed to feel pain? Number points 4. Pointer. This is the address of the. Oh, am I doing this wrong? So, do I have to have an array of pointers? Surely not. Surely not. Let's look at the documents again. Same as poly, except polyfill draws filled polygons. The optional parameter color types is an anti-clockwise order. Poly. It draws a polygon using coordinates from an array or new type of words. Do we just give it the array? No. Just do color 2 just to see. Oh, what's going on? What am I missing here? Maybe this doesn't work. Sorry. Okay, so or x or y. To be or x. Oh, that should be lower right y. So spell it out like that. Does that work? Yes, it does work. Okay, so I've just been writing values to random bits of memory, I'd say. Oh well. But we've got a polygon. We've got polygons. So at least if we do that, it's starting to look a bit more solid and not like just a stack of lines. Cool. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. So now let's just do this for the left-hand side. And that will be... So we start there, then we have to go to 100, 199, LX, comma, lower. So we're going clockwise lower or Y, and then LX and upper or Y. Yep. And now let's do the top. So the top, let's start at the let's start at the same point, 100 by 190, and then go to top left, which will be LX and upper LY. Then we go to the middle, which is top X and max H, I think. Yeah. So it'll be so max height. Is that max HY? No, max H. And then we're going to ORX and upper right Y. Should be, yes! Starting to look good. Starting to look like a thing. Cool. So let's. So what do we used? What colors were they? 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6 starting at the lowest. So let's do the right in 4, 5, 6, and then we'll make it actual polygon. Oh, and this will do wireframe. Yeah, okay, grand. Wireframe still works. Polygons true. Bum bum bum. Oh, that looks good. Very fucking pleased. Now, oh, That's exactly what we wanted. Before we get to the top of the bitmap, that's what I wanted. It looks like it's. I think actually maybe I should draw the top first, because the sides, when they match up, should, if you get it perfect, it should just look like a solid tower. Now in the original game, the colors changed on the way up, so I'll have to do some copper shenanigans there if I don't want to go to AGA, because each block is 3 colors, and it was basically fading from blue to red as the stress levels rose. You see, so you're talking a number of colors, or a lot of colors on the screen, realistically. But I don't want to do AGA. So once you go up, I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are. There are easier ways to draw that shape. I mean, see, the problem is that the shape has to change both in length and in width. So it's kind of it looks very simple now, but it actually so you'll end up with a narrower shapes as the game goes on. So that's kind of why I'm doing it this way, where each coordinate is separately calculated. But so a bitmap, like a bitmap. So the colors. What I can do is once the first block has been cleared, those 3 colors aren't needed anymore. So I can do a sort of a copper palette change and recycle those 3 colors further on. So there should be plenty of space for that, because the maximum blocks are 50. So that's 5. So it's 15 colors. So yeah, so it's 15 colors, 60 colors. That's ideal, actually. So once you get to that point, that's the maximum possible will be 15 colors. Then we can recycle the bottom 3, because you won't even need that, because they won't be used. You won't be able to see them. If you're that good, you'll only see the first edges. So you shouldn't be able to see much of the bottom one. So yeah, I think we can recycle colors. We'll sort that out later on, but yeah, we can recycle the colors as we go on and change the palette as it goes up. But for now, we'll go with that polygon. But what I'll do is I will change it so that the tricky bit comes up in a minute. Let's see. I'm going to draw the top first. Whoa. Oh. And so this should. Oh, it doesn't quite line up, but better. Yeah, I think that looks better lining up wise. There may be some pixel things to do with the speed, because I might be going half a pixel. I think that's the problem. So instead of doing half a pixel, so only moving 1 step up every 2 pixels, I might need to move it a full pixel and only do it every second frame. But the speed is variable. It's never always going to match up with the frames. So no, I'll leave it as it is for now. Of course, the original that I'm copying this from, blatantly ripping off, was lovely GL cubes and stuff like that. So it was all perfectly, it looked pretty. But that's I have to say, it looks decent. Okay, so the next step is now, Dan, when it lines up properly. So yeah, what happens is ship. Yes. When it lines up if you lined up perfectly, yes, they'll stack on top. But when there's any overhang at all, you lose that overhang, so the block gets smaller. If that makes sense. So now I have to calculate the overhang. So, now, so the overhang should only ever be in one direction, because the new block will be lined up with the old block. Just, have I got this right? Yeah, the new block should be lined up with the old block. So it just, what am I trying to say here? So it'll only lose one side, either front or back. Yeah, basically whatever direction it's moving, you will lose some off the front or the back of the block. So let's have a look and see what we can do here. So I did see an artifact from drawing to the live thing there. I don't know if anyone else caught it, but there was a little sort of white. You get a little white glitch to it. I'll have to figure out. I'll basically have to set a status thing where it's okay. We're drawing the block. Where stop the frames, stop the animation movement for a couple of frames. We're just going to let it cycle in the 1 point. And I'll sort that out afterwards. But that's a minor thing. If valid. So we move up the next one. So yeah. It's yeah. It'll all be magic to me now when I try and read this code again next week. Okay, so this is where we calculate a new move. So if valid, so we need to see. So we press fire. That's what we're doing here. Press fire. We draw it. We need to calculate our overlap. So doing the comment is the first step. Calculate overlap. So basically this is going to be part of our. I think we have to do we have to do this based on the direction we're going as well, just for simplicity, I think, because it'll only ever be in one direction. So we've got four directions it could be possibly moving. Although the direction doesn't matter. Well, we've only got two directions that matter. So they're both basically the same thing in opposite directions. So the possibilities are the same for losing some of your block. And if it's not those two directions, it will be the other directions. Okay, so let me see. How did I do this before? X speed, Y speed. Okay, so our Y position. Oh, what am I doing here? Y is equal to pi plus minus 64. Oh yeah, sorry. That's the starting positions for each slide. This is setting up that's calculating the new move. Right? Yeah, Grant. So what we're doing is we're moving the X and we're moving the Y at half the speed of the X. And there's our speeds. So our X position. I did set up variables up here for this calculation. Block SX, block SY. Block size X and block size Y, but this is always calculating from the nose of the block, which is basically the corner that's pointing towards you. So and that's it, bouncing forwards and backwards. So if it's going up and to the right, it's going the only place you can, so basically it's oh, this is, I'm doing this because I'm doing the X and the Y at the same time. So the X and the Y should line up. So oh yes, yeah, and the occasional flashback. Yeah, flashbacks are usually come to me sort of midweek when I'm in work. I'm like, oh shit, what did I say? So I just have to get my head around this. So if we're moving this way, so we're moving basically in, let's say, the X direction, and our size X is what do we have for, how do we define the previous block? We don't. We don't. So the block size X and size Y. So that's the size of the current block as well as the block that's top of the tower. So the moving block and the top of the tower are both the same size. So oh no, cam Y and Y position, score, blocks X, block size X, block size Y. Block position X and position Y. Where did we start it with? X is 269. No. It'd be 160. Sorry, the middle of the screen, 160. And at the start of the game, we 160 on a Y pause, Y position. So that's our starting block. And then, but surely that should be 10 lower. Y pause. Oh, I don't know why that works, but it works. Okay, so this is our current position X and Y, and then this is our moving block X and Y, so we're just keeping them short. So this is the top of our tower, our first block, or our current, the block we're trying to land on. This is our PX and PY. 269, Y pause minus 64. Oh yeah, so it's calculated Y pause minus 64, so that should, yeah, okay. Block PX, block PY. Just in case I move them or do, you know, end up with some sort of weird bug. That's still working fine. Okay, so yeah, so back down to here. So it's going up right. So if it's going up to the right, we know that the sort of the lower right and upper left sides align. So it's just a case of where this middle nose ends relative to the existing one. So block. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, fuck. What happened there? Oh my God. I called up the WinUAE screen and it locked the keyboard for a second. So that's, that's what happened there. If block, if x greater than block px. So that means it's further over that way. So if the x is equal, nothing happens. We don't lose any space. We don't lose any size of our block. Block size is equal to oh, let me think, because this could be a minus number if it's gone beyond. So let me think. So if the corners line up exactly, that should be like 50. And then 49, 48, 47. Yeah, my head is just God. Oh, it's not working. So it's the x minus the. So x would be going up. If x greater than blocks. Block position. But that will be oh, let me just do this out in 2 steps. Oh. So this is how many pixels further over we are. Greater than so that's our game over. Block size x equal to overshoot. It's just taking away the overshoot. Isn't that right? Or greater than or equal to so yeah, block size x. So valid flag is true, so let's we need to define that, don't we? So let's see, valid move, so valid flag. We need, if valid flag, we need to calculate a new size block, so we need to redraw. Draw block, and that will be block SX. Oh god. Block C and block 6. Let's see what happens. Oh no. Overshoot, yeah, I didn't define that. Oh, command. What? Go and shite. Go and shite. So what's happened here is I have this statement outside the Blitz command. There's no reason we can't just move the Blitz command up above that. So basically that function has been loaded with the Amiga version of these commands, which is actually different sometimes. So we'll put Blitz up there instead. It has made zero difference to the size. Oh, were we going the right direction? So that'll only work with upper. Okay, what are we missing here? Oh, I know. We're not actually getting the new block. So we need to grab the new block. And that will be something like that. We can probably optimize this a little bit to make the shape smaller, but we won't do that just yet. What the fuck is that? Okay, we got a smaller block in a way. But yeah, our 3D calculation there. But that looks about right. Okay, no, it's not aligned right. But now we're starting to get somewhere, and then that should have cut off a chunk there as well. Okay. Okay. So now we do the same in the Y direction. If Y overshoot equals okay, now actually we haven't dealt with the other case. So that'll have to be done as well. There's probably a way of doing this for both. We don't need that down there, actually. We'll do it two separately because we don't want it to do this if they're equal, because in equal there will be no change to the block. because it's exactly right. X less block, so X overshoot is so actually a lot of that could be just eliminated. I'll optimize this after. We'll just is that it? Should be it, maybe. So we got a narrow block. Hey, there we go. That's it. Closer. Well, we're definitely getting much closer to what we wanted. Why are we getting the tin open side? What's going on here? Because the top panel looks right in both cases. Anyway, Dan, does that make more sense to you now, what we're aiming for? Even if the graphics aren't, my corner calculations aren't quite right. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, why is my redraw not working? So left, upper left Y. Oh, we haven't calculated the Y size. Oh, yeah. Blocks X. We have done Y size, X size, and Y size. So the first one there, the Y size shouldn't have changed because the X size is kind of that way and the Y size is that way. So the X size is what's got shorter on the first move. Size X and block size Y. Am I drawing that right? Block size X, block size Y. Block size X, block size Y. Yeah. Block size X, block size Y. HY size. So HY size basically is just getting our half our Y size. And the top is X. So the top panel is being drawn properly. So what are we missing here? $190. So right, upper right, yeah. So and left. So lower left Y, upper left Y. There we go, that should be it. There we go. Yeah, cool. Excellent. So yeah, if you don't hit the target at the moment, it's doing nothing. There's no game over. So yeah, I'll have to do all the game over stuff. Actually, I'll probably use sprites for that kind of thing, for pop-up messages and stuff like that. Hey, Javier, welcome in. Welcome in. You're just in time. I was just about to go and get a glass of wine. But I'm making no crashes yet. No crashes yet, but there's plenty of time. The night is young. But this is what I'm making. A little game where you stack the blocks. Very, very simple. Good bad programming, or bad good programming. Or we just haven't got that far yet. We haven't made much progress. But we've got some nice looking polygons. And we've got blocks that are getting smaller. That looked like it was a lot smaller than it should have been. But basically we're trying to stack the blocks. And they should get smaller. Even the... Well, okay, yes. Okay, confession time. This is WinUAE. So I'm actually not running on real hardware tonight. Purely for coding system unfriendly stuff, I tend to use WinUAE basically because it's if I get to a particularly tight situation, it's a lot easier to debug, because you can like pause things and have a look inside and see what's going on. So something you can't do in real hardware. But for the system friendly stuff, I would be using the real hardware usually. It depends on what's going on. Also, WinUAE is much quicker to reboot when I do crash. So, there is that as well. Okay, so I just want to have another look at this, because it looks like those blocks weren't getting the right size. So if we do try and do this right, we should get almost... See, that's much smaller than it should have been. I don't know why that is. So this is just a silly little game that I saw on a kids entertainment thing on the ferry when I was on my trip there a couple of weeks ago, trip to Ireland. So it's just a simple little game, and what you do is you stack the blocks, dodgy blocks, yes, stacky blocks. So basically, you're trying to line them up, and if they don't line up perfectly, you lose whatever overlaps. And so, well, yes, it is emulating a fast one, but that's purely because I want to code quickly and spend less time compiling and less time rebooting. There's not a whole lot going on in the chipset, so it should run pretty fast. This should run, like, there's no reason it shouldn't run on a stock 500. But it's running fast as possible. It's not a specific Amiga it's emulating. It's just a generic Amiga with an 030 and a graphics card and lots of RAM, running as fast as it can. So that's kind of how I tend to do it for this kind of stuff. If I run it cycle exact, well, I'll turn off the debugger. Create and compile and run. So with no debugger running, I'm going to switch this to cycle exact mode and run it exactly a 1200 speed. You can't see what I'm doing here. And it's still... Oh. Well, yes, I have to figure out why it's not doing that. But, speed is, still there. So it still looks smooth to me anyway. I haven't obviously measured it or anything like that. But I'm going to switch it back to full speed now. Yeah. So yeah, all good. All good. But yeah, like, it's literally, okay, it's a big blit, but it's only one blit every frame. So it's, well, arrays and blit every frame. So it's not particularly taxing. It's not a taxing game. Just, there's something wrong with my block size calculation that'll come back to, but I just think I want to calculate a little gradient in the background, a little sky colored, blue at the top, fade to pale blue or white even. Yeah. So I'll do something like that. Well, no. I want to fix the problem. What's going on with my overlap? So is the overlap working in the X direction? So let's go for a very skinny one. Yeah, that's about right. That's almost exactly right. Yeah, that's the right position and everything. That looks right. Yeah, we're out of overlap, but okay, the position isn't right because it should be over with lining up with the other one. But that, yeah, we'll calculate that separately. That size looks good. Size looks good. So where was it going wrong with the size? So if we do that fully, that looks right. It's hard to tell. I probably should put some debug output on the screen, shouldn't I? Let's see. Let's just put some debug output on the screen so we can so every lap, display bitmap, use bitmap, we will draw some I think we have to do cam y. So the idea is eventually that it will scroll upwards as well as the tower gets taller. So that's the cam y position. The camera position is just where we are. So this just means we can. This code will only get compiled in if we're in debug mode, and so. I'm trying to make this too fancy. La 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 la. So we get the overlap from the previous move. What? Constant not found. Wow. Oh, fuck off. Overlap. Oh, why is overlap not defined? I thought I did that. Overshoot. Overshoot. It's the opposite of overlap. Overshoot. Where's my text? Oh, it actually uses the British spelling. Oh, look at that. Color 2. Still no. Oh no, this is in characters, isn't it? A character position across the rounded multiples of 8. Spelt well there. This is not the text. This is indeed. So, if we're 256 pixels high, that is. Jesus, 8 by. What am I thinking? 8. Oh, 256 divided by 8 is 60. No, 16. Oh, what is wrong with me? What's 32? No, 16 by 8. Yeah, sorry. Oh, God. 18. No? Why not? Why not? Where's my text? Where? Okay, it's annoying me now. $24 times 8 is 192. No, 48. That's... Oh, my God. There we go. Oh, my God. So the screen starts at about 32. Yeah. We got this little artifact over the right hand side there. Okay. So yeah, that looks about right. Overshoot 21. Overshoot 10. 29 by 40. Okay. So that looks about right. 19 by 40. Okay, yeah, so that overshoot is, yeah, nonsense. Okay, anyways, we've got some debug output now. We'll move it up a little bit. Yeah, we can. Yeah, great. So I can't believe I had to reach for a calculator to work that out. I'm so tired. Yes, I was going to go and get some wine. Speaking of being tired, I will be back in a jiffy. You can have a look at that. Oh yeah. This is a warm room. Warm room. But it's all good. Yes, excellent question. So it's the actual text position. So it's the locate when you're locating on a bitmap and you're using the Blitz built-in commands, it can only be multiples of 8. Or it works on a grid of 8 by 8. So that, you know, because that's your font character size. So if you put it at 1,1, it will be 1 character across, so 8 pixels across and 8 pixels down. Now, the thing is that the bitmap is actually 2 screens high, and I'm at the bottom of it. The intention being, yeah, so 00 is the top left corner, but the bitmap is 2 screens high. So I'm halfway down the bitmap already. So the bitmap is 64 lines tall, if that makes sense. And then, so what happens is, the intention is that as the blocks get higher, I will scroll up the bitmap and eventually get to 00, but hopefully never. So, but for now that'll do. So that's all that's happening. So see, yeah. Why did that not? Why that got much smaller? Overshoot was 28. And squares have a darker border on left and right because now they fade such corners. Well, they basically, if they're lined up perfectly, always see if there's a bit of overhang. If they're lined up perfectly, yeah, it'll look like a perfect thing. But that's the thing. In the original game, they changed color slightly each layer, so I'll have to figure out a way of doing that, and I will do that. So you could see where the blocks were, even if they were perfectly lined up. Um. Hmm. And that looks too wide. What I have to do is I have to fix the positioning. The positioning isn't right on those blocks, so we're not actually getting a true representation of what's happening. So the overshoot there is, well, the overshoot is actually minus 26. So if you look at it here, I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see that, but it's a little bit less than half the block, so it's just 1 pixel less. So the Y size is 24. That's fine. But yeah, no, I think it would be good to show that. And realistically, you can see there at the bottom 2 blocks that are stuck there, you can see the line in between them, but you shouldn't actually be able to see that line. It's just because of how the movement is done in half pixels. So you're getting a line of, so the Y movement is in half pixels. So you're getting every second position, you're getting a pixel showing through. But so the overshoot is 26. So this should be 13 pixels higher. This is not calculating. I think I know what's wrong. This is not calculating from the start position, is it? Let's see. See, that was almost perfect, and it's after cutting a chunk off, because it's not it's calculating it's calculating the wrong position. It's calculating it based as if it was still in the center, I think. Yes, so block PX isn't getting updated. That's what's wrong. So when we draw our new one, block size X minus overshoot. Block PX is equal to X. Whoops. Actually, this happens regardless of anything else. That might do it. Well, it might solve the problem. Yes, so that looks about right now. I know the positions are still wrong, but the size-wise, that looks about right. Yes, that's more like it. Okay. What I can do, Javier, is I have my drawing routine. So what I've done also has, I started off doing vectors just to do the calculations, just so I could, I knew I was getting the calculations right. And if so, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, so now you can see the edges as well as the sides. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, the vector calculations are yeah. But anyway, yeah, it will be possible to do that, I suppose. Yeah. Upper right, upper lower left, top lines. Yeah, it might be worth keeping them, but I have to fix what was going on there. What line was that again? That was wrong. The top lines are arseways. Top lines. Min width. No, max width. Min width. Although that's not what I wanted. The opposite colors. So, something like that. It might actually work keeping the vectors. Okay. We need a game over. We need a game over. Game over. Oh, what do I do here? That's nonsense. Yeah. Well, like to be honest, I have to tune the speed and stuff for that. But I think the speed is what it's about, and it should always be about this. The size getting smaller. Actually, I think I've got those borders the wrong way around. No, I think they're all right. Yeah, they that's when it gets ridiculous. But I think it's more about the speed. I think the speed, I'm just like doubling up or adding one to the speed each round, so it gets ridiculous very, very quickly. But I think some fine tuning of the speed will make the difficulty curve a lot easier, or a lot more reasonable. But ultimately, like I said, when I was playing the original game of this, sober, I could only get to about 30. And my little 8-year-old who was like, it makes me sound so old when I say he's a whiz at these things. he was only getting around 30, so we were like sort of we were neck and neck in it. So neither of us was coming out on top. So I think I'll aim for a similar level of difficulty where I can get to about 30. And then I'll test it on him, and then I'll be happy enough with that. But like it's only ever going to be a quick game. Yeah, high score competition might be interesting. I haven't. I'm just going to quit. I'm just going to quit it when that happens, because I have to reset all the game variables and stuff like that. So I haven't got to that point yet. But let's just make sure that works. Doesn't fucking work. Okay, that worked. That'll just wait for me to press escape then. How is that fucking... What? Okay, that's nonsense. Right, next thing to fix. Oh no, we have to get the actual nose positions correct. So what we're doing is we're moving up a level, so Y position -10. So now the decision is, do we keep our blit? So if you imagine we're blitting our shape and it's like 100 pixels wide. Do we chop up the shape in the blit and we keep it smaller and smaller within that shape, or do we keep the nose in the same position and then adjust where that nose is? You see, yeah, we just add 1 to the speed, so it's the difficulty curve is a pretty severe line, I suppose. So yeah, no, I want to line up the nose. So Y position -10 because we're going up a level. So does that work? It does. No, doesn't. Y position. The Y position has lined up right. We just need to do the X position. Oh, la 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 la. Oh God, let me think. So the shape, the nose of the shape is always so the handle. So the nose of the shape is always like the actual handle for the shape piece, for the shape for the blitter object. So that's always blitted with the bottom kind of corner of the shape. Oh. How do we change that? Because in my mind, just lining up the Y position should do it, but it only does it in. It doesn't actually do it right. It's slightly off. Oh God, let me think about this. So I'm going to have to calculate like a new nose position, a nose offset, if you like, for these blocks. That actually looks too short. That looks almost like the... Well, of course, our position wasn't right. I have to come up with a new way of thinking about this. So we're X position, we're resetting it to the start position of 51. So that was for when our block is 100 wide. We start drawing it at 51 pixels across. So our nose is at position 51. So we're just leaving like 1 pixel to the side. So that should be... So there should be a difference here of the X position. And that little shift, that's from the emulator. So that's the scaling on this. So I don't know, I'm just going to check that out now, but I still don't know why that's actually doing it, because it's not doing any kind of scaling at all. You can see there the image is too small. So let's see, let's filter horizontal size. It's all set to integer scaling, so I just don't understand why that is happening. I'm after... Well, there was one set. Let's see what happens there. Okay, yeah, no, there we go. It's better now. Yeah, sorry. Yes, much better now. Game over. Yeah, thank you. So when we're coming in that way, it's almost right. Let's try that again. We're coming in this way. It starts... So we're doing that way. It starts at the bottom right, but it's about... It's almost 10 pixels out. So the overshoot was 42. So are we talking about the overshoot? Are we out by the overshoot in the X direction? Or like, previous size minus the overshoot? Let's calculate overlap as well. See what happens. Equal to overlap is equal to block C. So overlap. Overlap blocks is Y. And then for our debug, actually, you know what? Fecker, we don't want to do this. some more debug code here, or debug only code. And we calculate them in real time. So that will obviously be a bit more expensive CPU wise, but now we can see oh, that old chestnut. Overshoot. So overshoot. Of course, overshoot needs to be an absolute value of that, because we don't want that to be negative. Yeah, so that's reading right. And so we can pause that and see that the overlap 16, overlap 32, overlap 40, just about 50. So that's perfect, although that's from the previous frame, because we're 1 pixel out. Yeah, okay, that looks good. Okay, so let's do about half. Let's just make sure that's working. Overshoot. See, the overlap should be triggering quite well. Oh. Is it in the X direction, the Y direction? Yeah. Yeah, overshoot. So something like that. Whoa. Overshoot and overlap. Let's see. So those values still work. No, they don't work. So our overshoot. Of course they don't, because I never changed the variables. So the overlap goes to higher than that. So why? What? So it thinks that's perfect. Why? So the Y size is 50. Yeah. X size is 28. We've got that right. That looks right. Overshoot. Are we setting the handle again? Are we losing our handle? when we get the new shape. We're setting the same handle. So our shape should still be the same. So our shape should still be 100 pixels by, well, 101 pixels by 60. So the middle line is 50 pixels in. That's we have to recalculate. You see, yeah. So our block position should have been updated our block position should be updated. So yeah, so that's calculating correctly. If we overlap by a small amount, that's fine. But what the fuck is happening here? So overlap. So that should be overlapped. Why is it not? So the handle is still here. The handle is still here. I can't remember if it's the top or bottom point, but it's on this line anyway. So why on earth does that think the overlap is 19? Because it's calculating based on this. Is it? Because if it was coming in this way, that would be 19. So it's based on this block being over here. So are we not setting the block position X? We are. Block position X, block position Y. So there that. Oh, that'll only work when it's coming towards, because the nose of the block will change. The nose of the block will change based on if the overhang is towards the camera. So if we're that way, we'll lose the back of the block, but the block PX and the block PY should match the current positions before we move on to the next level. But even that's not working. So what's going on? Our X position needs to be changed. So in this one now we're going down right, and X. Are we doing plus overlap? Does that work? How is the border lines drawn? So I have a little routine. So every time there's less overlap, excuse me, the block is redrawn, and I've got a routine up here that draws it. So basically we calculate the coordinates. So first off, we calculate the size. So the X size is sort of that way, and the Y size is that way. So in the V shape, like so. So the X size is up and to the right, and the Y size is up and to the left. So because we're doing it in an almost isometric style, basically the height is half the width. So it's very, very simple, and it works out almost isometric. For those CAD nerds amongst us, it's not quite isometric, but we know what it means. We know what we mean. So then we calculate the width, which is 100 minus Y size. So basically 100 pixels is our sort of midline. Or sorry, no. So 100 pixels is the full width. So our extreme left is that minus the y size. That doesn't make sense to us. That doesn't make sense to me. But I don't think we do min width and min h anywhere, do we? We don't use them, actually. So that was basically, I think, because I was going to cut the shape out and make it smaller. But yeah, I think that's too much hassle. It shouldn't matter. Once we know where the nose of our shape is. So the maximum height is then the x is 190 pixels is the top of our nose. Height x size up that way, and then height y size that way. So that's our peak, the absolute peak of the shape, and the top. So what's the difference here? Top x. Oh, sorry, the top x position. So that's if we are 100 pixels across, we go up and then across, because it's not always going to be in line, because you can get different x and y sizes. So we have to allow for that. So the top x position, so the top coordinate is going to be max height by top x across, and so that's what we're calculating there. And then we're calculating the right hand side x position, which is basically should be the same as that, but it's not. So that's the proper way of doing it. 100 plus x size. Oh, it is exactly the same thing. Oh, I see, because originally I was making it bigger than that. So the bitmap is like 200 wide or something like that. Right x. So I was actually calculating that. Sure, it doesn't matter. And then the upper right y and lower right y. So that's the right hand side edge piece. And then the left x position, the upper left and lower left y positions. And that's the same for the y side. And then what we do is load those points into an array, draw the polygons for each of the sides, and then if we're doing the vectors, we draw the lines manually. So it's fairly straightforward, to be fair. It's not at all actual 3D. It's very fake 3D. What's this? Oh, yeah. Maximum width. So that'll be right x instead, and then left x. Yeah, yeah, could do, but that's not the point. So our overlap is working that way. Let's see, does it work again if we go back the other way? Let's see. So what should have happened here is, so the nose of this shape, that's overlapping slightly there, I think. So the nose of this one should have, oh no, sorry, it's not. That's where the nose of that one should be. We should have lost this section off that. This one, we should have lost the section over here. So that was the base. That was going this way. This one should have come in here. That one should be lined up there. So that nose should be here. Yeah. So overlap 24, 36. So our x size here is 39. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so that's the calculation I'm trying to figure out here. So that is what it should be doing, and ultimately what I want to do is I want to split it into. So what I'll do is, when you get an overhang like this, I'll draw this block smaller, so you get the smaller block, and I'll draw a small block that's the equivalent of the leftover size, and I'll drop that away. So you'll just be left with the small block, if that makes sense. Actually, that should already be doable because I'm calculating the new size. So all I have to do is just delay the drawing of that shape until I calculate the new size. Overshoot 39, overlap is 0. So yeah, it's all based on, well, it's not based on, I don't know what that's actually based on. It doesn't line up with any of the nose positions. I just had a thought. Am I actually getting the handle position correct? 50, 59. Oh no, plot. Let's make no, just in case we've got some black lines, so we don't want to do that. Bright blue. Just so we can see it. So when we get our new shape, where are we grabbing it? Where are we grabbing it? Down here. Yeah. X, Y, and color. Alexandra, hello, welcome in. Welcome in. How are you? How are you? Where did I put the plot? Because that was in, I thought it was in the right place, but it wasn't. We'll find out when I try to execute it. Yeah. Oh, this is before the game starts. So 15. Plot 50, 59, 15. How do we manage to get out of that? So after we draw the block, we should be plotting directly onto the same bitmap. Yeah, thanks very much. Good night, Nivrig, and thanks for dropping in. Good to see you. And yeah, sure, we'll talk to you again, I'm sure. Somewhere along the lines. Cheers. Good night. So this should be our handle. Oh no, because this is in the bitmap. This is the shape is already much bigger. So let's load up bitmap 3 so we can just draw to the shape. Oh no, that's not what we wanted. Actually, I didn't really want this here at all. So let's go with that. And see what happens. But we have to do that when we redraw the shape. No, that's not where we wanted it. Yeah. How did I make that so many times? The same mistake. Now, why don't we have a bright blue pixel? Why don't we have a bright blue pixel? $50, $59, $15. Probably. I still can't see a bright blue pixel. Oh, can I? Yeah, so it is there. You're just making sure that is right. That's correct. Let's just throw more debug output at it and see what happens. And we'll slow it down as well so we can test it. Fine, soon I shall have a G4 so I can test MorphOS and Amiga Blitz 3. Cool. What kind of G4 are you getting? I have an iBook G4 here, and I have MorphOS on that. And to be fair, I don't use it very much, but when I have used it, it has worked very well. But I think it's a long time ago. I think it's like Amiga Blitz 3.6 that I've been using on it. Nice, good stuff, because they tend to have slightly better graphics than the iBooks. Slightly better graphics capabilities, because my iBook is limited to, I think, 1024 by 768. And that is, and so you can't override that even plugging in an external monitor. So it's just like hardwired that way. But the Mac Mini, I think you can go higher, which is good. There's more. Are you talking about MorphOS 3.9 or Amiga Blitz 3.9? Because Amiga Blitz, they're 3.10 now, and that would be the one to try. Let's see. What are we doing? Yeah, so there's 3.10 is the version to go with, to definitely to try, because if you do find problems, that you want to make sure that they're not just because you're using an old version. Okay, sorry, I've lost my train of thought here. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's a much higher version number than that. No, you're all right. You're all right. I'm here for the chats. So this we're just making sure that we do have the right position. So block px is equal to x. Block py equals y. So basically, I think our problem is that we're not calculating the start position properly. So is it actually the overlap we need to be over by? So I think we'll disable that for the moment and see. So this is what we're doing. Oh, I wanted to add more debug output. So Oh, let's do Y. Oh yeah, we're going to slow it down. Let's make it 5 times slower. So we wait 5 frames in between. So now we can see it. Overlap. Goes up to 50 and then goes down again. So our overshoot variable is basically the difference between the nose positions. That's right for this. Now, if we call it there, the overlap position, if you look, is about around about here. There it is. Why? Why? Oh, let me think. Let's just leave it at that. Xpos, the last white font pixel in the corner should be black. The last white point pixel from the corner. You mean on the top of the middle line or the bottom of the middle line? Because if this middle line, let me just see this middle line here, the very bottom point of that is actually blue. But that's just me trying to troubleshoot where the nose should be. So that's the actual handle. So you know a shape has a handle, and that's where when you blit it, that's where the coordinates are pointing to. So when it says X is 203, Y is 409, that means this point here, and that's why I've highlighted it in blue. Is that what you're asking? The last white point pixel. Oh, this one here. Yeah, you're probably right. The vector was only just roughly done. It wasn't done in a kind of a accuracy kind of way. And I think I draw the black first and then I draw the white. So that's why it's like that. But what I should do is draw the white and then draw the black. But this line here is the first line drawn. So yeah, that's it. But it was the vector. The intention was to get rid of the vector. So yeah, I'll have to deal with that some other time. Anyways, that is working fine for now. You can see we're getting half pixel coordinates. Wait, that's not what I wanted. Getting half pixel coordinates here. So that is, why we get the jittery kind of middle line. Sometimes it's thicker than others because it's half a pixel out, and the flashy white pixel sticking through there. But yeah, is that how you noticed it? But you are absolutely correct. And there's a flicker at the bottom there that I'll sort out afterwards. I don't know if that's just because I'm going too deep. So that's maximum overlap. Why is that out to the far? Yeah, I have to get the actual game basically functional. You know, the basic mechanics before we deal with prettifying it. Now, so there's an overlap of 48. So this is the X position. It's 136. If we look here, so that's about right. Yeah, so that's the X position and Y position are of that 442, and that's about 30 pixels higher. Yeah, that's fine. But I think I know what I have to do. Like I can't get my head around it right now, but I think I have to treat the X and Y coordinates differently. The X position is across the screen, so it's literally X coordinate and Y coordinate. But I think yeah, from where I think your mind is going, I think I need to calculate it differently. I think I need to calculate the X position and then use an offset to get where it should be on the bitmap, so that when it's in the middle, it's always 0, for example. But the X position and Y position are of this block here. That's the previous block. That's what we're aiming for. Sorry, if that's what you're asking. That block there. So that's X position 136 and by 442. So that where I'm pointing there now is 136 by 442 on the bitmap. So this one is 135 by 410 on the bitmap. But the overlap, it says the overlap is 18. X size, but the overlap, the Y size is 50, so that's 50 pixels, and that's a sort of, so that's probably about 30 pixels, let's say. So the overlap should be 30. So around about there, it should be 50. It thinks. So Y and Y position. Oh, yes. This is what I'm saying. The Y position is on the actual bitmap and doesn't really correlate to where the overlap is. So of course you can't calculate the X. You can calculate it, but Y you can't. So we still, if we still calculate with X, does that actually work? So maybe we're completely messing this up. So I know we're a frame behind when we're doing these calculations, but let's see what happens if we do that. Does that actually work? So, Jesus, it's not far off, is it? Overshoot, but the overlap should be X position minus Y size. That's what we're doing wrong. Let's see about that now. So the overlap. Okay, no, that's completely. Oh, that was weird. Froze there for a second. It's not a crash. Not a crash. Why is that? Oh yeah, because our Y position is not real. The first overlap is correct. Yeah, I have a theory. And let's see if this looks right. Did I put that in the right place? I did. So the first overlap is working fine. The problem is when it's going in the Y direction. So let's. I'll wait for this to make the case simpler. We will let the nose of the block, which is the front corner, be further back than the existing block. Overlap. Our overlap. That overlap looks like it's based on this block. So, So when we're going this way, I'm overthinking this, I think, because when we're going across the way, the overlap is always only ever going to be in the X direction as well. The movement is in a different direction, but the overlap is only ever going to be in the X direction. See, so this is calculating overlap because that overhang there, that's how much gets cut off. So, and when it's coming this way, it's still the same. It's still only in the X direction. Wow. Well, okay, so let's rethink this. So the overlap there is 2. So that's the overlap over the original block, it looks like, again. So the size 50. So X position is 182, which is not, so that's 160. I know that pixel's 160 because the base is right in the middle. That first block is right in the middle. So that would be about 182. That's correct. So are we right in saying that it's just overshoot? Block. Overshoot is block position X minus X. Yeah. Yeah. And so this is what I'm doing. So this is choosing the other directions. If the direction is up right or down left, that's working correctly. If it's going the other way, that's sort of up left and down right. We're not calculating right. So overshoot is block position Y, which is basically, which changes on every I think we just have to calculate our Y position. No, we don't. That should still be X. Let's go back to this and let's have a look at what we're seeing again. So come in here, let's go there. So our X size and Y size is fine, but X position is 180. So X position is 180. So that's 180. That's 150. Yeah, that looks a bit right. So 60, 70, 80. So that's our X position basically lined up. Okay? So that overlap should be 50. Oh, wrong button. Game over, yes. So it's still the X direction. Overlap is block size Y minus overshoot. It's as simple as that. Let's have a look. By Jesus, I think that's it. So our overlap should be almost 0. Yeah, 0. Well, our overlap should be about 2 there, but I think we're misaligned slightly, so we should be a couple of pixels to the right there. Don't mind that. Oh, I think that's where we're going. Yeah, it's looking better. The alignment is off there. So when we calculate a new position, so that's where we're storing next round. So that's where we store our current block position. So we don't really need this anymore. Well, we never needed that. Let's get rid of that there. So Y position is equal to Y minus 10. Y pos is our nose position, if you like, for this current layer. It certainly looks better. Is it a consistent amount? Let's see. Ooh. Oh, we're not looking at the right one. So it should be up left. X is equal to 269. this is probably going to glitch out now. Nope. Why? Y is Y position. Let's adjust the Y position instead. Y minus 10 minus is it overhang? Overshoot. Divided by 2. So if we add half the overshoot, so that's our overshoot should be a certain amount, but in Y pixels it'll be overshoot divided by 2. Oh no. Yeah, no. Oh well, I need to think this out more. So Y position is basically the nose of our current layer. But it's not even the nose of our current layer, is it? Oh, it is. It is the nose of our current layer because we're using Y. Minus overshoot. Don't know if this makes a difference. Yeah, no, it's subtracting too much there. Because that should line up exactly with the... That should line up exactly, but it is... it's like 5 pixels too high. And if we get rid of that nonsense, it was like 2 pixels too low. Oh no, more than 2 pixels too low. Let's see if that's always the case. Let's get more of an overlap. And it's too high. So I think what we need to do is, instead of calculating absolute values for the y coordinate, or not absolute values, but we should calculate them based on where we are on the previous round. So that's a few pixels too high. Why is that? Why is that? If we match everything exactly, do we end up getting it right? No, we're quite far out there. So y position minus 10 So Y position, okay, is... Or do we align it just with the layers? So maybe that's... Oh, maybe I'm making a mess of it that way. No. Let's see what happens if we almost line it up exactly. Are we almost right? So are we related to the overlap? Why didn't you change direction? I think we got it almost too perfect. Yeah, I think we did. So, let's see. How are we calculating our Y position? So we're the 64. I think I just picked those as like they're arbitrary values, and it's because they line up. So we have to rethink why it lines up. (64.45), so it's plus 10 and minus 9, something like that. So if our X position let's try this. So 160 minus see, 160 is the middle of our screen. No, sorry, 160 is the middle of, yeah, so in the X direction. 160 minus so this should be the offset from our center. Oh, my head is wrecked with it. My brain is not braining at the moment. That is exactly where it should be. Now, is that a coincidence? That is exactly in line. You see that? Yeah. So that is exactly in line. If I pause that, it's meeting exactly at that line. Whoa. So we've got a problem here, but it is in the right position that way. That's not in the right position. Oh, actually, is it? I think it might be. No, I think it's 1 pixel out, but yeah, it should be lined up with the that should be lined up with that surface there. So it's about 2 pixels to the right. Oh, so maybe it's just a coincidence. Let's try it again. Yeah, no, that is not the right position. It's way off. So Y position. I just want to Y is equal to, so Y is it as simple as that? Doubt it, but no. Y diff, Y position minus Y. Yeah, it does look like that, doesn't it? But that shouldn't be the case because the overlap. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, yeah. They do seem to overlap because I've got these hard coded values. So Y is equal X is equal to 51. So Y is equal to Y position. That used to be minus 64. Gotta put that back in just in case. So these are just arbitrary values, but they should be adjusted based on the offset. You know, based on how far they all are away. So yeah, they will appear to align over the original block, and that's what I'm trying to fix. Because the original block will just be moved up by 10 each round, which is what's happening here. So if I set that back to minus 64, what should happen is they should align correctly if they're all almost perfectly aligned. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh man, my head is so that works so long as they all do actually line up. Keep varies with the position of the previous block and update them when a new block is placed. But that's what I'm doing. That's it here. So block position X and block position Y, they're the top block, not the actual moving block. So position X, so they take on the current position when you place a block. So now the key is in these values here and setting them based on let's just see what happens here. Sorry, which one was that? That was case. This is so it was going up right. So case down right, down left, down left. Direction will be up left. So down left, direction will be up left. Oh, maybe that should be minus. Sorry, I was adjusting the wrong blocks section anyway. So that is, well, almost a. Let's see if that changes if we move the block further down. But it was only a couple of pixels out. Yeah, no, it's too high. Let's see if we try something here. What was that calculation? I was possibly adding it to the wrong place. Let's try that again, see what it looks like in a different position. And when it changes direction, it's a bit awkward as well. So the problem is not that. What we should instead be looking at is, because that creates glitches, is our new Y position. Y diff. Extra brackets there, but don't mind that. Okay, so that lined up almost exactly with where we were, but let's see if we can get that to repeat itself further down. No. I'm just clutching at straws here now. No. Y diff. Y position minus Y. Y position. Uses to the movement and overlap two-dimensional. Yeah, I did think about that earlier. It's a fair point. Yes, definitely. Because some of the calculations are already done that way, as in the X and Y size. So, wrong button. X is here and Y is here, and yeah, so I probably should do it that way, and then calculate it out on the fly. Yeah, how do I make that work? Yeah, I need to have a fully firing brain to do that. Oh my god. Um. So yeah, that's sure to help. Let's just see what this is like when it gets it. If that was down here where it's supposed to be, that overlap would be correct. So the overlap and overshoot are actually correct. Just the actual Y position. So I know I think I should be able to get this because this should be something obvious. So this Y position is 4, 2, 2. But that is like in line with this here, which is like sort of that x distance divided by 2. Okay. So so yeah, that overlap is correct as well. So that's correct, but it's what, like 30-40 pixels too low. So the Y position, so Y is 438 and Y pause of this block is 408, which is 30 pixels. So it's 40 pixels too low. How do we get 40 from that? What was that X position there? 408. So, sorry, 205. So that's 45 pixels that way. Yawn. Yeah, so spamtastic. Let's get rid of that guy. Okay, let's see what's going on. It's the correct overlap. Just the Y position. So we're what did I say? 45 pixels too low there. X position is 205. Is it as simple as that? So Y position minus the position X, so the distance from the middle. Maybe. Is that a coincidence? Is that a coincidence? Is that just what I was looking for all this time? That looks a little bit too long, but yeah, so maybe we've fixed the calculation for that direction. Let's try that again. did we get that arseways by accident or correct by accident? No, not a coincidence. There we go. Now, so it's working correctly in that direction. But was the overlap right? Because that overlap didn't look right then. So that overlap is 30. Yeah, that looks a bit right. That overlap is about 30, but its Y size is 48. And it's also hella too high. But anyways, more calculations to do here, but okay, yeah. So that's a different story for when it's gone past that. But when it's below it, let's have a look. Yeah, no. Okay. Block position X. So, so we don't actually need that. Well, let's see. So what we should do is put that into here. So we start going up and to the left. Our Y position is that. So Y position is minus 10 every time because we're moving up a layer. So that's, oh, let's see, that's not right either, because if we overshoot this, yeah, that's wrong. We have to calculate the Y position elsewhere. So we're going up, right, or down, left. So let's see, does this still work? No, I fucked it now. So why? But why? Because Y position should still be calculated fine. There's nothing else touching Y position in here. Y position equals Y position. Minus that. If we put that there, it'll work fine, won't it? Yes, it does work fine. Y position equals Y position minus. Okay, so that's basically getting an offset from the middle and subtracting it. So that's fine when the overhang is to the back. Let's see if it works if we go back this way. It does kind of. Yeah, this is starting to work. Yeah, no, it just fucks up when it overhangs at the front. So that's the calculation we need to really look at. So we need to do a separate calculation based on the front overhang in the front and overhang in the back. I'm tempted to try and redo it like Wendigo has pointed out there, that is, you know, in fake X and Y coordinates. And then calculate it back. But I'm so close because I have the overlaps working correctly. Oh. I think I'll have to sit down with a piece of paper and actually draw this out because I can't get my head around it. But I think I might call it there anyway because I'm just getting bogged down in this, and we'll head off. We'll leave it at that. I'm gonna look and see if there's anyone else on. Who's on? The Tangerine Club, Pints and Amiga, Amiga Live, Tonda. The Tangerine Club are good. There's just like music, nothing to do with the Amiga at all. Pints and Amiga, we could. Thanks, George. Appreciate that. I'm like, I would probably get my head around the maths. I'm usually better at this stuff, but I was so tired, so tired. Anyway, that's what happens. That's what happens. So, but I think we raid Pints and Amiga. Let's give them a go. Where's my Twitch thing gone? Here it is. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna, like, I swear to God, I'm tired now, but I'll end up staying up or staying awake half the night, lying in bed thinking about it. Like, oh, what way, you know. That's how my brain works. But anyways, let's go and raid someone. Let's go and raid Pints and Amiga. Oh, Ash is doing Dungeon Master on the Amiga. No, we'll raid Pints and Amiga. And let's give them a go. But yeah, no, thanks very much everyone for dropping in. Oh no, Pints and Amiga have just finished, so let's cancel that. Whoa. How do I cancel that? Oh, is it too late? Cancel raid. Right, so yeah, no, thanks very much. Thanks very much to everyone for dropping in. We're going to raid someone else because Pints and Amiga have just finished up. So let's go and raid Ash Said Hi. She's doing Dungeon Master. Amiga Dungeon Master. Okay. Right, listen. Yeah, well that's the hope, that I'll go to sleep and things will work. Things will work overnight. But anyway, listen, thank you very much, and good night to everyone. And yeah, let's join Ash, and she's doing some Amiga stuff as well because it's Amiga August. I keep on forgetting to put that tag in. But anyways, right, thanks very much. Good night and take care. Bye.
so much for the raid. We're gonna start. I want to play the Super Nintendo Bubsy again. Orion, hello, welcome. That sounds like my belly when I'm hungry. Hi, Daedalus. Thank you so much. Hi, Gaming Panda. Hello. If you've never been here, my name is Ash, and I play retro games and Nintendo games. And today we're playing Dungeon Master, the Commodore Amiga version. And the first Bubsy, Hungry, there's a Bubsy plushie coming out. I don't know if you saw it, but Atari shared it on Twitter, and I really want it. Not the ST version, Caligula, that's true, not the Atari ST version. We're playing the Commodore Amiga version. I need it. It's so adorable. Oh my gosh. What software development were you working on, Daedalus? What did you do today? I hope you had a good time. And please go and give Daedalus a follow. And thank you so much for choosing our channel to raid. Thank you so much. What's the Amiga game? I'm very curious. Syra gained a ninja level. We love that for Syra. And we just... How about you enjoy the spoils, Syra, since you're so hungry? And gave Syra a drumstick to eat. A simple game. Trying to line up blocks to build a tower. That sounds awesome. Hi, Edvin. Hello, welcome. Okay. Let me make sure I'm going a good direction. A party game? That sounds cool. I love that. Game development is awesome. Tiggy, come on. You're messing everybody up here with your stamina. Come on. I hate when it does this. Get Hauk. Daru is actually able to cast spells now. You love to see it. Oh, because you're hungry. There we go. All y'all hungry people. Okay, cool. Okay, we'll just keep those at the ready. All right. Now. I think I know where I am. Whoops. Now, if I go this way, there should be stairs. Yes. Okay, I know exactly where I am. Okay. Wow, to get to the other side of that door, it is a lot of work. Let's see if I can figure it out. The menu reminds me so much of Robin Hood Prince of Thieves on the NES. Yes, I love that game, Hungry. I have played it before, and I got up to like a part where I had to be on a horse,